into game number 2.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's find out if DXSoul can finally break their 2-1 curse to find a clean sweep at the end of the regular season and to make Toda cry, or if JP Niners will bite back and keep the trend going by evening it up with a Fredrin jungle.
The start of the game, you can see Hazelnut just, as always, trying to get priority, but it's not easy into this Padang that just takes a fist break and straight up wins the trade. Cisca having an amazing time against Sapat.
Yep.
You don't really get to trade against him.
You kind of do, right? It really depends on how you have to bait out the eye for an eye. That's a big one here. So far, when we're looking at the emblem set, it looks like Cisca is going to go for that full tank rather than Festival of Blood. He knows that he just has to survive with the extra DR, but Master Assassin from the side of Sapat, he not only is looking to out-trade him, out-damage his opponent, but he is confident in doing so.
A lot of this draft does depend on whether or not Sapat is able to release himself from lane and start affecting the map. Because while JP has a good amount of damage, a lot of the early part is going to be focused on ZaQt and Sapat. So the earlier that he can join fights, the better.
Just now they were trying to set up a better laning condition for Lo Liao too, but thankfully Rasi was able to stop them from happening. If not, Lo Liao could just freeze the wave on the SkyZ. So Niners called it off. Head towards the bottom side and just stick with Zidane. He is going to be that key to get the ball rolling.
Slowly make their way up here. I think both sides understand. Yes, we want to affect this lane phase, but at the same time, it's not worth risking everything for it, right? They want to get that first initial push, but even so, I don't know if Zidane should be like hovering around here for this long. He still has camps in his own jungle to clear.
He's taking resource away from Sapat too. Before 5 minutes, we're not really getting value by going into the wave of your laners, but they will start on this turtle. I think if you're DXSoul, Kimin, he has that level advantage.
Will they still choose to contest though? Zidane gonna be standing in front. Rasi goes in, commits the fist break, doesn't have to crack. A beautiful flicker, knock up. Dark Wave cancels both. Sapat gets a double kill though. He returns the favor and Zidane secures the turtle. It's 1 for 2 and JP gets the objective.
But just give him the great Petrify, Electro-Final Blow, Lethal Ignition, all the damage in the world. Hazelnut will be safe from that. And it went way more poorly for DXSoul than I think they would have originally liked. The cash on the ZaQt was great, but they lost core players. And sadly, Kimin didn't even get the objective.
Yeah.
They're trying to force it. The Purify removes the crossbow stacks. And Cisca, why are you that deep, sir? 2 members of the X fall again.
Guys are not paying attention to the mechanics. Lo Liao said Purify, you can never commit to that.
Really, really unfortunate there. Really unfortunate for DXSoul. Right now, JP Niners still in the lead. How are they going to convert this? So far, Sapat has made his impact during that upcoming neutral objective. From this point onwards, finding scraps along the map and more...
So I'm going to use the Dominator's Descent, dropping real low to fist Leo is stuck inside, but he's able to dash away and crossbow of tank jumps to Zidane instead. Veteran Strike comes out, SkyZ going to be knocked up. A Brace Grab, he just barely dodges it and Storm finishes off the Fredrin. Here comes Kimin. He's looking for a snack, but he's not able to find it.
Thank goodness Lo Liao got away, because that would have been really bad for Niners. Guys that not able to transfer the crossbow tank onto Lo Liao, but was able to get a kill on the Zidane, so that gives Kimin his first sight on the corrosion side, making sure that he always stays ahead of his Fredrin.
This laning phase has been going pretty well for Sapat. Every single time. Just waits for the eye for an eye before even consider going for an aggressive shove. 12 seconds left on the clock. I think that the JP Niners, if they're looking for these bigger conversions, they might even consider going for like a straight-up invade against Kimin, right? But we haven't seen the scouts from JP Niners like try to track the camps.
Oh, this guy got first item, Dominus Ice. He really just wants to hamper this Fredrin.
But gonna be taking pretty aggressive positioning. He is a full level up on Cisca, so this Benedetta definitely doing the job that JP Niners drafted it for. Rasi is gonna take the job, trying to Josen away, but Tsunami Slam pulls him backwards. JP Niners decide they don't want to fight this, does come out with the Feather Death Strike in the end. Here comes the Hanzo as well. Sapat gonna be chased down. Kimin finds the snack he's looking for. It's a 1-for-1 trade right now. Both EXP laners are down. The Roamer is very low on HP as well, but Zidane in much more comfortable spot to take this turtle. The Fizz Crack finds it, secures the turtle for Keemin. Rasi sacrifices himself for the team.
Wow, not bad. Oh,
Skyzed, careful here, sir. He wants the last stack. You are playing too aggro, my friend.
Oh no, no amount of Inspire is gonna save you. Low Liao, he has Purified, and that crossbow tank is never gonna go off. Skyzen needs to understand that. Second time he gets solo killed by Low Liao. And that is not doing him any favors. DxO bailed him out once, but they cannot keep doing that.
and every time Skyzed has died, each time he has the Inspire. Oh,
Ziska gonna be jumped on. Dark Wave cancels the feathered airstrike. Ziska jumps back in, gets taunted away. Appraiser's Wrath crushes him into dust. And now Rasi forced to use the Fizz Crack just to survive, but Hazelnut's coming in as well. He'll be able to walk away, but his ult was wasted there.
Whoa, first item priority, Brute Force Breastplate for Zidane. He wants to move fast, he wants to hit hard, and make sure that this train never stops. DxO, Siska and Rasi have surrendered themselves to the fate that they will just be punching back for JP9 now the eyes turn onto Skyzed. He is so far behind Low Liao.
yeah, he's dying twice in lane like that is not ideal. Oh, does Sabat take this? No, he doesn't. He decides against it. Rasi is about to cut him off.
I think very smart of Sabat here. It looked like low-hanging fruit. The enemy marksmen all by themselves in lane, but he was moving way too aggro for him to be by himself. So he is able to back off to the tower. Here's the Hanzo as well. He's going to force the Electro Final Blow just to clear up the wave. And unfortunately, I don't think Keemin's going to be able to get ZachQT.
See down with the build out, ZachQT survives. Bottom tier 1 also stands. In fact, Low Liao and Hazelnut, they were teaming up together on the top lane. So that tier 2 comes under siege. DxO, for once, will have to play reactive, right? JP9 is always a step ahead.
Nothing much they can really do about this. Even for Storm, right? As long as he doesn't have the Dominator's Descent, he's got to play extremely careful with the way that he's dropping down these spawns. Again, it needs to be an anchor that JP9ers cannot cross, and so far, based on the 3.4k lead, it's a non-factor until he has items. Oh!
Keemin is going to use Hanekage to try and steal the turtle away, keeping himself there. But Zidane will still secure it. JP get another neutral, but the Fizz Crack connects with Zidane. He's under the tower. Feathered Airstrike comes out, dominates the tank, gonna eat most of it. And the final Infernal Pursuit finishes him off. Sabat gonna find Skyzed though. Petrify connects, and Skyzed picked up again. A killing spree for Lolil.
These guys are really making some fundamental mistakes. They had no vision on where Sabat is. He tries to face check the bush like that, even with the Falls and Needles. That innate built-in Purify, you can only survive so much. So third death for the 1-1. JP9ers have gotten the best possible scenario, keeping this 1-1 behind. She wants to hit Power Spike by mid-game, but at this rate, Skyzed will probably never hit that Power Spike that he's looking for.
Oh, but he does have at least a DHS, something to kind of keep him alive and more importantly, apply some damage towards Zidane. Looking at the full item list, second item wishing a lantern for the side of Storm. Not even T2 boots are part of his concern. Golden Staff finally completed by Keemin, so he's one item away from actually having the Trinity. But on the opposite end, still one item and two components for the side of Zidane. And we see that ZachQT decides to go for the Bloodwing still.
Man, Skyzed is 2,000 behind, almost 2,000 behind Low Liao.
2 deaths early on, fed to Lolil, and then another one being set up in the mid lane really puts you behind as that gold laner, and that is not ideal. DxO have drafted most of this composition around setting up for the 1-1. Keemin gonna try and find Lolil, but the Harif is feeling very good right now.
Very frisky and a lot of space being created.
The bulk of the network for JP9ers sits on Low Liao and Sabat at this point in time. So any shutdown would be great. They blew up the holy defense top lane and 9 minutes in. DxO just have to play from behind. They cannot be looking for these active fights right now.
Oh, this is such a slow boiler here. JP9ers, they have a lead to inevitably force it onto DxO. Because again, they're playing super disrespectful to the fact that Storm doesn't even bother taking Flicker in here.
Seal Rasi misses the Fizz Break, but the crack connects. Lolil pushed into the wall and eaten down.
Wow.
Shut down from Storm. He found him. And now Hazelnut gonna be chased down as well. Keemin gonna be able to find another snack. That is tea time and dinner completed. DxO found the opening.
2 down. JP9ers will take the very first Lord of the game. I don't think Zidane's going to make it in. Look at that spawn. It is just belting him.
That is great. Purify might work against 1-1, but not against a Hanzo. Keemin He does have the killing spree. They found Zach.
Fist crack onto ZaCQT. Looks like Heemin wants tomorrow's breakfast as well. ZaCQT will be able to fly away thanks to Zidane. Sabat gonna clear up the mid lane, but all of a sudden, DxSoul finding the space on the map.
Almost a 3k gold swing again for DxSoul. Lord spawns, bottom tier 2 stands for them as well. They finally clear out the top tier 1. And Keeman, he has the killing spree, so he is only going to get stronger the longer the fight persists, as long as he can reset it with kills.
And speaking of, he's going in again, looking for Lolil, not able. Oh, the Fist crack! Fettered airstrike comes out, zones out DxSoul, but they're actually okay with this. Storm a bit too deep in the backline. He might be stuck here. Sabat gonna punish him for the overextension. And that's gonna be the only kill of the fight.
Interesting. I mean, it was a pretty good engagement coming in from the side of Rossi. He caught 3 people in there, all of which didn't have battle spells, so there's really no escape. Generally, I would have imagined that Keeman was not going to be able to get some significant damage, but I think it's a little too late, right? It's coming to a point where that Trinity is now making all the difference.
I think the sequence was wrong, right? Rossi needs to go in first before Keeman joins the fight.
Yeah.
He lost the Hanekage, and then Rossi engages. So, yeah, DxSoul kind of messed up on the sequence a little bit. Still got the bot lane tier 2. Now they need this mid tier 1.
Fettered airstrike gonna be used to clear the wave. Also do a significant amount of poke damage to SkyZ. Needs to be a bit more careful with his positioning, but now the net worth is actually even. All the lead from JP gone.
Yeah, nothing much they can do about it, but it's fine in terms of scaling. Both sides scale pretty decent in this game. It'll eventually even itself out, but it's about impact. It's about execution so far between the squads. I think that right now, I'm most looking forward to Sabat trying to catch 3, maybe 4 people with the Electro Final Blow plus Petrify.
There's one person who can manipulate the side waves. It is Sabat, right? It falls into his jurisdiction. For DxSoul, they don't really have the same luxury. Maybe SkyZ is the Keeman's the other one, but generally, they don't want to be the person to do it. So JP9ers, they play their macro game, split DxSoul apart, especially set up this long lane for the next Lord, which Sabat is going to be doing.
As they control the battle lines, especially around the riverside, both teams are extremely cautious. They're only respecting the space that is necessary within their own territory. The waves... is it even worth going for a proxy at this point? You are Sabat. I guess it's okay, but that probably on the next wave that's going to be spawning out. Lord is coming back up in 10, so I don't know. I think that Hazelnut, unless he flickers in and finds a big catch on maybe Rossi, maybe Storm, it's going to be a tough one.
I think it does still come down to execution though. Fizz Break will connect. Hazelnut not able to find the target, and Rossi flickers away, but Tsunami Slam gonna pull him back into the rest of the team. And here comes the Electro Final Blow. Doesn't really find anyone though. Rossi will eventually be melted away. SkyZ finding Lolea. Keeman with the killing spree. JP9ers are being melted away. It is a 1-for-2 trade. DX come out on top.
Man, they sit on top of the dominance of the Descent. SkyZ free hitting. And of course, you have Keeman just ripping them to shreds. Second Lord for DxSoul. Holy Crystal for the Zaz. JP9ers, I think the timing is slowly, the window is slowly closing for them.
As Lord falls into their hands, the siege doesn't look that great. I think that as long as they can keep finding value from Keeman, he's already level 15, so his ult is very, very short. Yeah, cancels it out every single time.
Dominators, Descent even committed. They're looking for Zidane, not able to find it, but they do get the mid-tier 1 in exchange, and I think that's very worth it.
Hazelnut, he just bought the fleeting time at around 30.5 minutes. Again, the timing, not really the best, right? You get the fleeting time, but when your team is in a position where they're not actively getting the kills to make use out of that item. So we're falling back into the same situation as game 1, where Niners have items that is meant to go fast, but they're not capable of doing that.
As they take their time in their own jungle, they need to start clearing out these waves without getting choked out. I think that Sabat eventually needs to make an attempt to try and cut the second waves just so that it alleviates some pressure. That, or they're waiting for a counter engage right by their inhibitor turrets.
They can't wait for much longer. Feathered Airstrike used doesn't really achieve much, only to conceal, baited out from DX Soul to maneuver around. Lord will eventually fall, but the empowered minion waves are still pushing in, and JP only has their inhibitors left standing. DX Soul knocking straight on their front door.
Rasi just got his flicker back up. I think it was up any earlier, he would have committed to it. But there is an opening at top side. Wait.
Oh, they're gonna try for it off of this wave? No.
They're just gonna keep sending Hanekage in to be as annoying as possible. Hazelnut consistently just cannot find anything. The moment he jumps up into the air, DX Soul just all back off. They know how much JP is depending on this Tsunami Slam.
Yeah, so far, I mean, it's just Modern Warfare right now. Instead of giant big planes, we have little drones like Heeman on this Hanzo throwing himself in to find some effective attacks.
Another Dominator's Descent, and Hanekage take the top inhib, bait out the Feathered Airstrike, and it is just hit and run tactics. The guerrilla warfare from DX Soul is excellent.
ZachQT being forced into to go extremely defensive, right? First we saw the Blood Wings, now a Winter Crown, good against the crossbow tank, and of course the Hanzo just barreling towards you. But DX Soul, with the top inhibitor taken down, can now constantly have a wave in their favor with the next Lord spawning bottom.
Everything is falling into place. DX Soul might just get what they're looking for. That 2-0 victory to kind of break this curse right on their last match.
Straight into playoffs too.
Yeah.
Any victory will bring them there. They don't even need a 2-0, but a 2-0 would be great for the charts.
Another conceal. They're expecting someone to be pushing up in the wave, but no one is there right now. Sapat playing it a little bit safer himself. So he's not gonna get caught out there. I think we also have to remember JP Niners trying to avoid relegation in 9th place here. They need these points.
This loss will send them straight to 9th place. There's no coming back after this. So they need to somehow bring it back, and then still need to rely on Team Race result against SRG OG. Really not an easy spot to be in.
May not be an easy spot, but it's something that they've got to do. Divine Glaive being purchased by Loliels is now in a position where he is looking to hurt. Really, really hurt. The question is, when do you even drop that Salmon Force? There's so many situations we've seen that, oh, I dropped the Salmon Force, instantly Rasi is able to push him back into a corner.
Yeah, there's a lot of zone denial from DX Soul, where Rasi just walks in, Hanekage just dives the backline, or the Salmon Force gets cancelled out by the well-placed Dominator's Descent. DX Soul have definitely drafted this to make Loliel's life fairly difficult, despite the early lead that he gained from repeated 1v1s. Zidane gonna be committed on. Feathered Airstrike comes out again a bit too early. DX Soul just disengaged.
And Sapat, he's debating whether he wants to join his team or to deal with the top wave, because that wave is going to crash. DX Soul now can walk up.
Another conceal. JP keeping their distance. They do not want to get caught by Rasi here. Sapat still waiting for a chance to go on SkyZ, but he still has the house key at the top wave.
Once he shows, DX Soul will commit onto the Lord again. It's going to be push and pull, rinse and repeat.
DX Soul slowly taking more space in the river. Zidane no longer able to walk up safely. Conceal cancelled. The flicker forward. Tsunami Slam pulls Rasi back. Feathered Airstrike as well. But he just flickers away. And now Ziska's buying so much space and time. Sapat cannot enter. Hazelnut's already melted away. And Hanekage nearly kills Loliel all by himself. SkyZ looking for a chance to enter from the side. Ziska still standing strong in front. Immortality still intact.
Okay, all right. So it's a 1-for-0 trade, but a majority of the members from DX Soul is kind of low. Sabat, he might be able to find some angles here if he makes some good guesses.
No Electro final blow for him. Has to wait for a while. There's a... oh, that alien just despawned. But Rasi, he's going to keep walking up forward. And DX Soul can keep playing this, right? The top wave will always push in. They have plenty of chances to reset if Stone can just let that alien die. There we go.
Lord now at 40%. Rasi doing a great job of just standing in front. Doesn't quite get the wall, but still pushes Zidane back. Feathered Airstrike used. Storm just jumps into his ult. He's alive. Keeman gets the Lord. Really cleanly done by DX Soul.
Yeah, JP Niners not even willing to contest. Not even willing to contest. To be fair, the game has been dragged on to 19 minutes at this point, so we're already in the full item build section of the game. And the extra gold for pure utility and item swaps.
This is now the chokehold that DX Soul has gotten JP Niners in. This Lord might not end the game, but certainly will crack almost the entire base of the Niners.
Lord gonna be entering the top lane. Mid and bot inhibitor are still alive, so it's a bit hard to enter. Conceal comes out. Rasi, two-man fist crack. Better Desperate comes out. Hanekage gonna enter again. Eats a lot of damage. Dominates the second. Three-man stun. Three-man knockup from Kimin. And Siska's in the backline. Skyzed finishes off Lolil, but Sabat finally finds his proxy. Rasi gets a three-man wall, but Sabat gets the double. JP Niners able to keep themselves top, still four-man strong. They halt the advance of DX.
All right, so another Lord goes by, and actually all three inhibitors end up falling. I thought they managed to save at least one of them. That's a little unfortunate, but what can you say? DX Seoul, they tried. They got very, very close, but there's just a lot of artillery from the side of JP Niners, especially once they're near and safe to their structures. It's good to see that Sapat still has that Benedetta in him. He's been getting a little good amount of catches over all of that backline.
Ooh, here comes Kimin again. Storm gonna be found. Sabat chases him down. And Hanekage, unfortunately, not able to find the finish. Better strike. Ooh, Kimin just barely dashes away. That would have been disastrous.
Okay, DxO needs to calm down a little bit, right? Those death timers are being staggered. They will respawn in time for the next Lord, but JP Niners finds a very much needed breathing space, punishing Stoem, who has been a thorn in their side the entire game, and Sabat getting crucial picks in the last two fights.
I mean, let's look at the damage dealt, right? Stoem currently sitting on top, very, very high. Kimin, again, nearly a 20,000 damage difference between the two. Right now, even ZQT and Lolios not being able to keep up with it. So it just comes down to whether or not we see DX Seoul take the initiative in these
guys. He's gonna find Sabat in the bush. Sabat gets the petrify, goes in, but he gets the Wind of Nature, and the fist crack cancels it. Somehow Niner died, but the Tsunami Slam gonna find Kimin's real body, throws him back into the Better Airstrike. Lolil picks up the shutdown. JP Niners are fighting back.
Yep, finally their pickoff composition is going in their favor for once. For once, Sabat has got some legitimate damage, but that does mean that at least for the upcoming fight, Skyzed does not have Winds of Nature.
I think if you're DxO, you might have to just concede the Lord and play defense. All that effort the past few minutes now amount to nothing as we have Zorn in the crowd. The fight breaks out.
Dominator's descent. Lord dropping low. Zaidan will of course be able to secure it. Rasi trying to flank from the back with Skyzed, but not really able to find the target. DxO will just have to back off and regroup.
Yeah, once again back to the drawing board one more time. At least have the Lord in your hands. Oh man!
Whoa, we said Sabat is the key. Really coming out huge in this late game. He's single-handedly keeping his team in the game.
He really is. I mean, looking at his build, he's making sure that it's just pure, raw damage. Not even thinking about hard sustainability. It's all about being able to blow up your targets with the least amount of spells as possible. Endless battle. Malefic for a Hunter's Strike. Sea Halberd and Heptases. He's got all the blades, my guy.
No more shoes on Sabat. He is all for that DPS. The faster he can burst down his opponent, the less JP Niners will have to worry about. That Lord now going to be pushing up top lane. DxO still has all three inhibs standing. It's just a question of how many JP will be able to take.
They don't have the best wave clear to deal with the Lord either, so there's a good chance JP gets all inhibitors. And maybe one good pick-off. One last Electro final blow from Sabat will end the game for JP to bring them to game 3.
I think that Siska at this point has to be the one that makes contact with Benedetta before she makes it into that back line. And then start walking up once, start changing, pivoting your direction to the front line once Rasi is able to catch maybe one, if not two people.
Very well set up by Niners. All three waves synced up. They're looking to deal maximum damage with this Lord. Skyzed is going to start working on the Lord, but this Conceal is going to force him away.
Better Airstrike. Wow, one hit. Half HP on Skyzed, but he is able to walk away, and that means there is no Pharsa ult to worry about next. The Lord will collide. Top inhibitor will fall. Rasi finds one Fizz Crack on Lolil, but the team's not really ready to follow up on it. Zaman Force already used. Lolil is 2-team! Lolil, you are 2-team! He's somehow able to dash away, though. Winter Crown comes out on top of Siska. He also buys the Immortality. Kimin now looking to re-enter the fight, but Hanekage will be burned away. Sabat still holding on to Electo. Doesn't find the Petrify he wanted. Wind of Nature cancels it all out, but Better Airstrike is back off cooldown. Storm finishes off the Immortality on Sabat, but he loses his own life in exchange. The DxO, though, do defend their crystal.
How is this playing out the way that it's playing out?
Oh my goodness. So Oracle for Loliao, there's still one fat bottom wave. DxO again Their wave clear is horrendous. They should be able to deal with the bottom wave and keep one last inhib alive, but Lord is back up without Stoem. Kimi needs to steal off his career to bring DxO back into the game. How did JP get to this point?
I don't know. That's the thing. Every single time, it's just you catch somebody slacking. Oh, wait, DX?
DX are trying to contest this mid. That's why it comes out again. The 3-man fist crack. Lolil gets the Lord away, and now DX all are stuck, but they find the shutdown. Subot has been removed from the fight, and that means SkyZ is free to enter. JP Niners, they're taking defensive positions, though. They have the Lord on their side, and that means DX needs to back it off.
Oh boy. That is a bit of respite. Taking out Subot, but JP Niners, they're going to start walking up, escort this Lord. Maybe try to use it to end the game if they can. That bottom wave is going to take a while, but all things considered, DxO, they will have an easier time dealing with all 3 lanes as is extremely staggered. JP Niners will let the Lord walk down mid at least.
They're slowing down the waves too, not pushing them too quickly. The best case scenario would be for them to delay it long enough for Subot to rejoin, though he is still 25 seconds off, so I'm not sure if that's going to happen. That means the DxO can mount the 5v4, and they're going to use Conceal in advance for some reason. Lord will enter the base. JP Niners can't quite find the opening because Keeman is scouting out the front lines. Ayrán gonna stand there. Predator's Strike comes out. Rasi misses the fist break. Tsunami Slam pulls him backwards. He's gonna flicker away and try and buy time, but that's a killing spree for Lolil. It is now officially a 4v4, but the Lord has been dealt with. Dominator's Descent is gone as well. SkyZ has not been able to find the crossbow of Tang, but they're still standing.
Still holding for as long as possible in this game with 65 seconds left on the clock before the turtle actually, the Lord actually spawns another Winds of Nature purchase from SkyZ. They are blowing through their investments very, very quickly. Yeah. And I think that, unfortunately, despite everything that has happened, it's great that we see that Subot on this Benedetta is housekeeping and also pulling off on these fights.
That was what's kept DxO in this game, right? A fat bottom wave that Subot needed to deal with, and of course the early stagger timer. Wait a minute.
Hanikage dropping Lolil to half, but it's fine. He's got Hazelnut and Zidane with him.
How do they deal with this bottom wave though? If they can keep this inhibit alive, it's gonna be great.
Hazelnut forward, finds the Tsunami Slam, pulls Gnome forward! He didn't get the pop Dominators! Electro final blow, Petrify, stops the Phobias in his tracks. Keeman trying to look for a counter, but he's already lost Hanikage, and all of JP Niners are still alive. This is now a 3v5 defense. Praise's Wrath comes out, a Winter Crown, gonna keep Ziska alive in the air, but not for very long. He will fall as well. Rasi gonna respawn. He's able to rejoin the fight. Hanikage comes out again. JP Niners doesn't quite have the minion waves, but they do have Fetid Airstrike. Hanikage gonna drop down once more. Tsunami Slam again landing on Rasi. It's a mega kill for Lolil, and now the crystal is finally exposed. The curse is not